Hello, everyone. You're all very welcome to Underground Cinema. So we've been in the thick of it, interviewing as many people as we possibly can before the 16th Underground Cinema Film Awards, which are only 6 days away. This is interview 26. I've had a call for the past couple of weeks. I've been chatting to so many nominees from all over Ireland and all over the world. It's great. I've enjoyed every second of it. I've been dying for this one, to be honest, because we were supposed to have it a couple of weeks ago, but it wasn't meant to be. Unfortunately, circumstances stopped us, but we managed to get it together here on a Sunday night. Girls, you're very welcome. This is Charis and Sophie. Both did a fantastic job in a brilliant film called Night Driver. Charis has been nominated for Best Actress, and Sophie has been nominated for a Best Supporting Actress Award. You're very welcome, girls.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. Listen, I was talking to you before we started. You know, I've worked in acting as well for a long time. And when you get a script, like the script that you guys got, if I was an actor, I'd say, God, I can't wait to get my teeth into this. Did you enjoy it? Like when you got the script, is that how you felt?
Yeah, I don't know about you, Sophie, but I didn't even read. I read the whole thing, obviously, but I got to the end of page 1, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have to play this character. It was an absolute dream getting it, actually, and I got it at about 7 o'clock on a Saturday night, so I was not expecting it at all.
Yes, you were thrown in the deep end, Charis.
Yeah, and they were like, well, this is filming next week, and I was like, huh? What? And it was a bit mad, but I loved the character of Ngozi and just the whole storytelling, and I was just like, I really hope I get this part. So I kind of dropped everything and said to my husband, right, I need to go and like work on the script and read on the script, and it was, yeah, it's a really fabulous story. Sorry, I've got a little visitor with me now. Can you just go back in the lounge? I'll come back in a minute. I'll speak to Daddy. I'll be back in a minute. Sorry. I'll be in a minute.
That's okay. That's no problem. But listen, for those that haven't seen the film, maybe you can sort of give us a rundown of what the film is all about.
I'm going to let Sophie do that while I just quickly. Sorry.
No,
I was going to let Charis, because she is the leading lady. But I can tell you a little bit about my role as Eve.
Sorry.
So she is, no problem. She is a model celebrity who, from the outside, has it all going on. You know, she's confident, composed, shiny, but like us all, she is facing her own struggles, and there's definitely cracks beneath the surface. And Eve is essentially a quite complex character that no one really sees, I suppose. You kind of goes back to that. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and those cracks start to unravel throughout this story. I also love that the contrast between Ngozi and Eve, that they have that kind of, there couldn't be any more worlds apart, but essentially they're both faced with, you know, choices that test their sense of right and wrong. And they, I think I was really fascinated about how circumstance can really blur morality. And yeah.
Well, look, this is a really interesting story. Okay, so basically, we have a lady who's driving a taxi at night, which is very dangerous as well around inner city Dublin at night time. She's trying to provide for her family. She's a single mom, and a situation occurs where you, Sophie, end up as one of her fares. She's in the back. You're in the backseat of a car with a guy. We also know that the story's developed. We know that money's tight for Charis's character with Ngozi. And in most taxis nowadays, you got a video camera. You got a cam on the dashboard, so you're recording on the street. You're also, for the safety of the taxi driver, you're also recording the interior of the cab as well. And what's happened in this story is she notices that the two passengers in the back seat are very friendly. They're kissing, they're cuddling, but she also finds out that this guy that you're with, Sophie, it's not a husband. She's obviously having an affair, and this is where there's this opportunity basically to blackmail you. You know, she sees that you have money, you know, you're an easy target, and you more than likely will pay. And that's simplifying the story. You know, that's really simplifying the story. But I'm amazed when I watched it a couple of times, I was saying it is such a simple story, you know, and I'm amazed that nobody thought about this idea before. You know, anybody could be traveling in a taxi, and we all could be in a situation like that in a taxi where we've been filmed and we may not be with the right person, and we could have end up in a situation like this. I thought it was a really well written script. I thought the characters were very, very strong. Both characters were really, really strong. I thought the production values were superb. The Brian Durkin was the cinematographer on it. He did a fantastic job. He's excellent. Emer is the producer as well. Emer Durkin is the producer as well. She did an excellent job. It really ticked all the boxes for me. But you guys have this fantastic chemistry in the car, and also when you meet later on. And I think that's a fantastic scene. Maybe we'll have a chat about that scene. There's a scene in the car park where you guys meet basically for the transaction, the money, the handover. It's a really intense scene, you know. Can you tell me maybe as actors, what were the challenges trying to do that particular scene? Maybe Charis, we'll start with you.
For that particular scene, I think for Ngozi in that scene, there's a balance between, well, for me playing Ngozi, a balance between trying to play the desperation and not play, like, she's sort of trying to put on this front of like, you know, I need to extort, I need to do this for my family. This is really you know, this is, I don't necessarily want to do it, but this is my only option, the only choice I've got. And I think underneath that, there's that human side of her, that guilt that comes out as well. And I think it was just trying to play a bit of that. I initially actually was considering playing that very strong, as if to say, in the way like she knows exactly what she wants and she's got no, you know, inhibitions about it, and she's going to go for it. And it was actually Mick who said to me, play it like she has to do it. And for some reason that didn't, you know, I didn't naturally come to that point. But as soon as he said that, I was like, that makes so much sense. And that just helped me to get that balance between, you know, all those nuances in what she's thinking at the time. Because I don't think she doesn't hate Eve at all. But she has to do this for her family. And also I think there is that bitterness because she's been cheated on. Her marriage is broken down, and it's looking at Eve and being like, you have it all. What more do you want? I have nothing, you know, I'm living in a taxi. And it's sort of like, it's not a hate there, but it's sort of like a retribution in a way. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, I don't know, it's a real balance of lots of different things, I think, for Ngozi. And I think that was quite a challenge.
Yeah, there's loads of different things in this particular scene as well, because I believe that, like, if Ngozi didn't have any money problems at all, you know, if she wasn't, you know, she had, you know, a safe house for her kids, even as a single mom, I don't believe for a second that she would do this, you know, that she would take advantage of a situation like that. I don't believe it. It's a situation that she felt she had no choice. But and also an element of as well, I feel as well, of there is this disgust that she's, you know, she's quite strong about this, that, you know, she means nothing to her, you know, she's having an affair, it's not right. And am I right? Is that the way your portrayal is very much like that?
I think in that moment, Ngozi has to really hype herself up. So I imagine before that scene happens, she's like, she's almost not going to do it. And she's like, you know, sort of, she's doubting herself. So when she gets really spiteful, it's like she has to go there. I don't think that's her natural position. Like when she says, you mean nothing to me, I think she's almost telling herself, this person means nothing to you. Come on, you know, you need to do this. So yeah, I don't know if that answers the question. But yeah, I think she's more psyching herself up as she goes. Do you know what I mean? And like almost stepping into the shoes of, you know, I don't know, somebody.
Obviously, she's never done something like this before. I mean, let's face it, none of us have done something like that before. So I can imagine that you've got to build yourself up for, you know, this could be very confrontational. You don't know what's going to happen in this car park, to be honest with you, you know. So I get what you're talking about, where she's has to sort of build herself up. Did you guys rehearse this a lot between yourselves before you shot it, or did you go straight in?
No, we didn't. It happened quite quick at the end, to be honest. Myself and Charis met one day before, I believe.
I think so.
So there wasn't much rehearsal time at all. But to be honest, I don't think we could have rehearsed that scene too many times over. I feel like what we got was incredibly authentic, and I think if we were to overdo that scene, it wouldn't have had the same impact. I find that scene incredibly emotional. It's a build up for Eve, and I think when I'm studying and exploring a character, I find it helpful to find that common denominator between myself and the character. And I really appreciated how Mick, our director and writer, he kind of shined a light on how, as society, we are so quick to judge people based on appearance, money, you know, circumstance. And he really asked the audience, I feel, to look beyond the surface on this one, which hit home, because we label people before we even understand what's really driving them behind it all. And I think it's just a really, really important topic to be highlighted and for people to be aware of. He challenged us to think, you know, why we are so quick to judge and label, but also kind of challenged the strength of our own moral compass too. I really appreciated what he did there. As you said before, it's so thought-provoking. It really is, and really reflective.
Yeah, it is. There's so many things in it because it explores loneliness, it explores class, it explores motherhood, it explores probably moral compromise, like you said, Sophie. I mean, there are a lot of different themes in this very short film, you know, that are explored. You know, that's very good writing, and you know, very good public, and that's why you've got the nods as well, because you guys pulled this off. You know, it's a fantastic short film that I've no doubt it's going to do very well on the festival circuit. Have you been to any of the screenings so far, or Night Driver?
I don't think I have, actually.
I have.
What one have you been?
I went to Screen Ireland. Sorry, I have to think there. I went to the Screen Ireland Virgin Media the DIFT festival.
Oh yeah, we both went to that.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, we both went to that. It was a lifetime ago. I was like, I definitely seen it in the cinema. Yeah, it feels like ages ago, right?
I know it does. Well, it was last February, wasn't it? Or was it this February? Last February. Last February. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
February.
I tell you what it was. We were hosting the Underground Cinema Awards last year, the 50th Underground Cinema Film Awards last year, and Brian Durkin was at the awards, and Michael was there as well. And they couldn't stay at the end of the evening because they had to go to location. They were checking out locations. Virgin Media didn't want this film shot at Christmas time. They didn't want, you know, all the lights around the place, so they had to shoot off that night, the night of the awards. It was around November. So Dublin International Film Festival is February. So Grania Humphreys then screened it back then. And then we screened it then in September in Dunleary. And I can tell you, went down really, really well. We had a packed out house down in Dunleary. And I love, when I'm at a film festival, I love, especially if it's our own festival, I'll sit at the back and I watch the audience so I can get an idea. You can tell an awful lot from the body language from people from behind if they're enjoying the film. And they were all engrossed in the film. Everybody loved it. And then afterwards, then out in the reception, when we all meet everybody's talking about it as well. And also, you won the Best Actress award, and we have your trophy, which we'll have to give it to you next week.
I know. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? Yeah,
well deserved, Charis. Well deserved.
That was a lovely surprise. Very lovely surprise. Thank you. Because I know I've seen some of the films, actually, some of the actresses that were in that, and some of them are like, in fact, all of them are amazing. So I thought, oh gosh, I don't know, they must have had too much sherry or something. So I don't know, too much wine. They've called the wrong name.
Give over.
But yeah,
give over.
Can I actually make a point about the one thing that we hadn't spoke about actually was Ngozi being an immigrant. Sorry, it's on my mind, and I'm like, I really have to mention this because I think this is one of the things that really drew me to this piece. Just at the moment with the whole anti-immigration thing, I think it really shows a humanistic side of what immigrants have to go through, and just we have this notion, or at least the media likes us to think, or that immigrants are coming in and they're draining all our resources and they're not contributing and all this stuff. And there's a lot of immigrants that work very, very hard and contribute to the to the country. And I think that just seeing Ngozi's struggle, and also just seeing the immigrant, we have the same wants and the same sort of priorities as family. It's looking after our kids, and I just think that was quite uniting. But also, I don't know, it just put people in that person's shoes, because nobody wants to be living in a taxi. So if you're living in a taxi in a foreign country trying to raise kids, you must need to. Do you know what I mean? That's a desperate place to be. So I just wanted to say that. I thought that was quite a poignant part of the film.
Absolutely. Like this country, and many other countries around the world cannot survive without immigrants working, helping the economy. They're doing jobs that a lot of people don't want to do. They, when they do arrive in Ireland, or they do arrive in other countries, they do the very best they can to blend in with society. I live in County Longford. I'm a Dublin man. I'm born and bred in Dublin. I moved to Longford about four years ago, but it's the most diverse place I've ever been in. It's culturally, it's a bit like Birmingham. It reminds me of Birmingham. There's so many different cultures here, and everybody gets on. Everybody.
That's brilliant.
It's fantastic. My kids are in school with so many different nationalities. So I think it's fantastic. I think this film in particular does highlight some of the difficulties and dangers that immigrants have to face on a day-to-day basis in Ireland. It's a very at the moment it's getting worse, to be honest with you. It must be really difficult for immigrants working in Dublin, especially like a taxi driver at nighttime, a female taxi driver on top of that. Yeah. How difficult is that? Also, I think Kieran Craig directed a great film years ago called Parked, about a man that ends up living in his cars, and he's parked up on the I think it's like north side Dublin, and it's a fantastic piece, but it also highlights how difficult it is for people. He was a man that had his own home, and then just things went wrong where he broke up with his wife, and he ended up living in a car. And so you can go for 1 minute from living at home, the wife, the kids, and then all of a sudden it just falls apart, and you're homeless.
Well, they say you're only, is it one paycheck away from, I think, most people are only one paycheck away from being homeless or something like that. That's I don't know, statistic, which is quite scary. It's quite scary. It can happen to anyone. So it's
a lot of the short films that have been sent into. I mean, we're doing it so long now. Some of the short films reflect the mood of the country. So I can remember when austerity hit, recession. A lot of the films were coming into us were almost reflecting what was going on in society now at the moment. It's happening now with some of the films that are coming in at the moment to us, like Night Driver. The filmmakers are very good at picking up the mood that's out there now at the moment, and within a couple of months you're going to see you see these films on the big screen. And I've had great chats with some of the directors and writers for the past couple of weeks about some of the new projects that they have. And again, it reflects the mood of what's going on in the country. I think as actors, I think we're going to see great scripts, coming through, over the next couple of months. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that you can get your teeth in, a lot of drama, a lot of dramatic parts. You guys I can't wait to see what you're going to do next. What are you doing next, Sophie? Are you doing anything? Is there anything up your sleeve?
Yes, I have just shot at the Storyland with RTE. I was the lead in that film called The Ick, which is, I just think it's hilarious. It's like it's a topic that has not been explored enough. It just makes me laugh. It's very funny. It's very lighthearted. So that will be coming out actually in November on RTE.
Right.
And then I just finished. Well, I had Borderline, which was premiering on ITV the last few weeks, and I have a John Carney film coming out called Power Ballad. So that's with Nick Jonas and Paul Rudd. So yeah, lots
Paul
of exciting
Rudd.
things. I know, he's so nice as well.
Love Paul Rudd. That's amazing.
Yeah. So yes,
That's
that's all I'll
great.
say for now.
Well, it
What
sounds
does
like
ick mean? I'm sorry,
The
Dave.
ick, the
What
ick.
do you mean?
So like, it's something that is individual to us all.
Okay.
That turns us off someone.
Like
It can
feet
be
or something.
as random. It can be as random and they're always like the more random the better. They're just like, it's just hilarious. And the film does reflect that. It is very funny. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoys it when it airs.
It's obviously you don't watch Love Island, Charis, because there's so much icks.
Oh, really?
You know what an ick is, Dave? You know what an ick was?
I know exactly what an ick is. Yeah, it's just that little thing that bugs you. It's turning me off you. That's
So,
what
like,
it is. Ooh.
yeah. Okay, I was gonna tell you one of my icks, but then maybe I should. This is when I start to overshare, and I'd be like, "Why didn't I just stop talking?" Sorry. Okay, I'll cut it there.
And Charis, what are you up to? Have you anything in the pipeline as well?
I thought you were going to say, what is your ick then? I was like, yeah, so I've just finished on Hard Acres for Channel 5, which is a Victorian drama, which I've always wanted Victorian drama. So I had like a corset on and the big, was it petticoat?
Love period. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. So I've just finished that. And then just a few, I don't know actually, it says 2026, but I have no idea when. I think February or March maybe, I have no idea. And then I just finished just before that another one called Hunting Alice Bell by David Baddiel, which is a Channel 4. And I can't
I've heard of
remember.
it.
Yeah, it's the
Great
premise
cast,
is
I think,
really,
yeah.
so you've got Simon Penn or Pegg. I always get people's names wrong. I even got my own name wrong on my wedding day, and that's not a joke. But anyway, I shouldn't have probably told anybody that. Anyway, Simon Pegg, Ralph Little, Amanda Abbington. Yeah, it's got some really good casts. So it was a really nice job. It was a lovely job to work on. So yeah, that's it for me at the moment. And now it's very quiet. It's very quiet now. It's time of the year. It's like, yeah.
I was just just about to ask you that actually. At the periods at the time of the year, I suppose coming towards Christmas, January, February traditionally are quieter months, and then it sort of takes off again.
Yeah, but I also think it could be super slow for me, but Charis could be, super busy. I think it really depends on what people are looking, what roles are there and up for offer. You know what I mean? I don't think it's the same for everyone all the time. It really does vary depending on, your demographic,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to ask you is because you work so well together on the film, and there is very good chemistry there. And sometimes I think, have you guys do you do theatre?
I actually come from a theatre background. I trained in theatre, and I'd never done any TV and film until I'd moved to Northern Ireland. So it was a whole new thing to me. But I love theatre. That's sort of my sort of
Yeah.
the part of performing that I love the most, to be honest. But I just find the opportunities for me in theatre aren't really there.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, I think I might have had 3 theatre auditions since I've been here. I've been here 5 years.
Oh.
And I actually think that it's quite an insular industry. And whereas I think the film and TV industry is much more open. That's just been my my experience with it. Yeah, so that's a bit of a downer. Sorry about that, but
Yeah.
It's realistic.
Yeah, I think like back in the 90s and the noughties, theatre was huge certainly in Ireland, you know, because the independent, you know, indie films, they were out there, but nothing on the scale that we have there today. So a lot of actors learn their craft in theatre, and there was an awful lot of work going on, which was great. It was sort of a boom time. But once indie filmmaking started, and once Section 481 came into play in Ireland, where you had a lot of American film companies coming over for tax breaks, you know, I think it was Far and Away was really the sort of first big one. Ron Howard's film with Tom Cruise was the first big one in Ireland to sort of really rocket it off, and all of a sudden then you got a lot of big films coming over to Ireland over the next, say, 20 years. So the industry is becoming a really great place to work, and I think theatre has sort of suffered as a result of that. So where people are more focused on film than they would be in theatre, and I get what you're talking about. It's a little tricky, you know, to break into the theatre. I love theatre. I absolutely love it. But it is a little bit tricky, and it's also very expensive as well. And there's not a lot of money in it either. You know, to be honest with you, it's very difficult to make a living as a theatre actor. You won't get a mortgage if you're a theatre actor. Let's put it that way.
you won't get one in TV either, I can tell you.
No. But what I think is great about theatre actors are that they put a huge amount of they put a huge amount of work into every role that they play, because as a theatre actor, you sort of live, breathe, you know, the character. You want to know what motivates the character. You want to know every possible backstory about this particular character, and a lot of theatre actors do that. And I could sort of see with you guys, there was great chemistry there. That's why I thought you both worked in theatre, because that's something magic, I think.
Yeah, I did theatre. I kind of fell into acting from a very early age, like at 8. So I would have done theatre starting off. But then as soon as I think it was after Evelyn, I played Evelyn, and in a film with Pierce Brosnan. And I think then ever since then, I accidentally kind of went down the TV and film route. But I absolutely adore theatre, and again, like kind of echoing what Charis said, I would love to get my foot back in the door with it, but I do find it a little bit hard. But you know, hopefully that does happen for me, because you can't beat that live performance and that adrenaline. But also, I think when you're, first of all, thank you for saying about the chemistry between the two characters. But I have to say that Charis, is one of the most kindest, loveliest people. And how I only got to know her over the couple of days, but we had such great.
She wouldn't say that at 7 o'clock in the morning. She hasn't seen me at 7 o'clock in the morning.
So we really felt comfortable. I hope that you feel the same. I felt so comfortable on set with Charis, and that chemistry came easy because we got on so well, and she's truly very beautiful inside as well as outside, obviously. And well deserved on that nomination. You really, I was able to perform the way I did because I was acting against you, you know.
Same.
You made it easy.
Same.
So,
yeah, to be honest, that scene in the car park, Sophie's performance, I mean, throughout the whole thing, but that scene, I remember actually I felt really unwell that day.
Yeah, I remember you need to sit down.
I need to sit down. So actually, Sophie's not even doing her reaction to me in some of that. She's just doing it to a blank space because I was really faint and whatever else. And I remember sitting and watching you and just thinking, my goodness, you're just absolutely stunning on screen and off screen, obviously. But yeah, Sophie, it's just, in fact, all the cast were brilliant, to be honest. But
They were.
yeah, it's not just a one person thing. You kind of need everybody to be good for you all to look good, if that makes sense. So it's really do you know what I mean? It's really an ensemble piece.
Team effort, Emer, Brian, Mick, everyone, you know, it was a privilege.
Yeah. They've what they've done is very clever. They've set up Western Studios, which I think is a great idea, and they've surrounded themselves with really good people. Now, when you do that, when you surround yourself with really good people, the end result is always going to be top class. All of the productions that Western Studios have done over the past couple of years have all been nominated at Underground Cinema, but also at various other festivals. They're sharp, they're good scripts, great directors, really excellent producer, I have to say. Emer's fantastic. You know, she's a real people person, not the skill in itself.
He brings incredible energy as well, Emer.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when she's around, you can't help but, you know, be energized and smile. So that contributes massively. Yeah,
I interviewed Brian there a couple of nights ago, and we were chatting about, you know, all the different films Brian have been working on over the past couple of years, but there's definitely a feature that they're looking at, you know. So I'm dying to see what sort of script they're going to have for a feature film, because I know they're going to pull it out of the bag. They're definitely a company to watch out for, you know. So if you do get a call from the guys with that script, like, seriously have a think about it, because it's definitely a company that's going places. They're top class.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. I'd love to
listen,
work
guys, I'm going to wrap it up. You've been great to chat to. Thank you so much for taking out your time, especially on a Sunday, taking your personal time out to chat to me. Congratulations on your nominations. It's thoroughly well deserved, Sophie and Charis. I know we're going to see you at the awards next week, Charis. I can't wait to meet you in person. And I have my fingers crossed for you as well, Sophie, for the awards. So I'll be watching out to see what you have next for us in store. And I wish you both the very best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
It's been lovely.
Take care.
Bye. Sorry, my camera quality is so crap compared to you guys.
And I was just thinking that about mine. It's not great. Anyway.
Bye-bye.